Hello and welcome to Talk SCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, and welcome to the match review between Barcelona and Inter at the Camp Nou tonight. And we've done it. We have got through this game. We've won it in a pretty convincing manner, dominating most of the game and the ball without Lionel Messi. Our first test, we've overcome it. It was a proud performance tonight from those Barcelona players. And as always, we are going to be dissecting that in its entirety. It's Barcelona 2. Inter 0. And genuinely, guys, I am really proud of that performance tonight. You know, it wasn't absolutely sensational. We didn't blitz Inter by several goals. I wasn't really that impressed with what Inter did at the Camp Nou tonight. But in terms of the players that were out there, they did the basics right. They worked really hard. They held onto the ball. They were careful with it. They took care of it. They made the right movement. There was a lot of energy out there tonight. We finished well in front of goal. We created chances. And most importantly, we kept ourselves a clean sheet. That's all that you can ask for. Valverde made his decisions. He went with them. He stuck with them. We have got a result tonight. We have got a vital win in this Champions League. And I think everybody here, without Messi, we can be happy with that. And let me just run you here through our starting lineup and the sort of shape that we did adopt as the game went on. We started here with Ter Stegen in goal, Alba, Longley, Piqué and Sergi Roberto returned there in the right back position for Nelson Semedo. Busquets in midfield with Arthur retaining his place, Rakitic there, and it was sort of Coutinho and Rafinha either side with Luis Suarez leading the line. And what it was really was 5 across the midfield. We packed that area of the pitch. We wanted the ball. We wanted to use it at home. And then sort of when we were in possession, when we were attacking, you'd see Coutinho try and get a lot closer to Luis Suarez, and the same for Rafinha as well. In the early exchanges, it was Rafinha who was trying to make runs beyond Suarez into the box when he was dropping in, receiving the ball, and being the creator that we know that he can do. And there was fantastic control in midfield tonight from this man Arthur Melo. I'm going to come on to it later on, but him and Busquets patrolling in midfield with Rakitic there as well. It was very good. And like I say, for the majority of the game, we dominated it. And I think all things considered, we did start the game really well. It took us a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes to get going. It was a bit lethargic, neither team really going for it. Inter were quite compact in the way they went about their game. They weren't really rushing out and trying to get at us, pressing us or anything like that. Icardi had a slight chance, but the chances really were falling to Rafinha. He was getting in some good areas. He was making driving runs into the box. He was trying to stay around Luis Suarez to pick up from those kind of passes into him. He had one chance on his right foot, which didn't really suit him. Of course, he's primarily left-footed. That wasn't really powerful enough to beat Handanovic. There was another chance as well inside the area. Again, good play from Coutinho into Suarez. A little bit of a layoff there. Rafinha again, not really enough power in it. But it was this goal here that was absolutely sensational, the first goal. Really, every single thing about this goal was worked wonderfully. It's Rafinha here who wins it back in this midfield area. He's got Vecino and Brozovic around him trying to close him down. But it's Luis Suarez out here. Perisic is covering here for Asamoah at left back. And Suarez really exploits that. All he does is he just tails off him, gets into some space here. Inter are backing off Rafinha. Coutinho's holding his place out wide, and Rafinha simply moves into the space, continues going and plays it out to Luis Suarez. But that's the thing here. He doesn't just admire his pass, he then makes that run. He makes that bursting run in behind Inter, as does Coutinho. They give Suarez the option to pass, and as Asamoah is chosen down here, they've got players around him. Suarez here has no right at all to find Rafinha with the pass he does. He's got to go through 2, 3, 4 players to get his pass into Rafinha's path, and he does it. It's an unbelievable assist, and the way that he actually hits this pass really does defy science, because there's no backlift to it. He doesn't hit it on the volley, he doesn't curl it. All he does is hit straight through the ball so that it arrows into the path of Rafinha. It's wonderfully worked. He's making the run into the area, and Rafinha does really well, because he doesn't lash at it, he simply allows it to come across his body onto his favoured left foot, and bang, past Handanovic. 1-0 Barcelona, a crucial goal and a very nice moment for Rafinha, who's made his mark. But on now then to the second half, guys. In the first half, of course, that goal did give us the lead, but in the second half there was a bit of a drop off in tempo, in intensity, and like I say with Inter, really, they never really came out. You're expecting them at some point maybe to throw a few more bodies forward, to try and gamble a little bit, to try and get a goal, but they didn't do that. So they didn't really give us any space in behind, any opportunities to counters. The opportunities that we did have, he did try and take, there was an opportunity where Luis Suarez really broke well. Coutinho was there out on the right-hand side, and it was a wonderful pass over the top of the Inter defence into the path of Suarez, who heads it down into the ground. Handanovic gets a hand to it, and it ricochets then into Rakitic's path. He puts it onto Coutinho, and then Coutinho clattering the bar. It could have easily been 2-0 in that moment. That was our best chance, really, as the second half went on. There was a brilliant save as well from Ter Stegen. He had to stay concentrated. He was never really worked right the way through the night, but it was a big right hand that we saw, of course, against Sevilla. Some massive point-blank saves, and it was a really important one from him here to keep ourselves in the lead. It was only 1-0 at that point, so Ter Stegen again, even though he didn't have a lot to do tonight, he was still decisive. But like I say, in the second half, there was a bit of a drop-off in intensity from ourselves. We didn't really have as much of the ball, and we didn't create as many chances. And to be fair to Valverde, what he didn't do was leave it too long and invite pressure without making a change. To be credit here to Valverde, he did make the change very early on. He brought on Semedo, he took off Rafinha, which to be honest was a defensive change, and he didn't just stop there as well. Later on, of course, he brought on Arturo Vidal for Arthur. Again, maybe a bit defence-minded, but you have to say we did then improve in the second half with a few fresh legs, with the crowd behind us then, Semedo here operating at right back, Roberto then into that midfield, and again, we got more bodies in there, we got more control of the ball, and I think the second half, the sort of latter end of it, we played really well. We created chances, we had a few opportunities as well, and of course, we got our second goal. And really, guys, the second goal was absolutely brilliant in terms of movement from midfield, moving the ball, but also making runs in behind, shifting players around, and just getting into the box, getting bodies in there to cause your opposition problems. We've spoken about it going into this game, and I have to say, Arturo Vidal came off the bench, and he was so effective. Right the second that he got on the pitch, he was desperate, absolutely desperate to prove something to Valverde. He wanted to show that he deserves more minutes, and I think certainly on this little cameo display here, he has certainly done that. He was heavily involved in the second goal. He was in the box. He was trying to hustle and bustle, getting into spaces the second he came on, and for the second goal, he was heavily involved. It's him and Rakitic in midfield. There's a bit of a triangle there. Alba makes the run in beyond. He's getting into the Inter area. Vidal moves the ball, then makes the run himself. Rakitic then into Alba, and it's a wonderful finish. You've got to say, Lionel Messi on the bench was ecstatic when the goal went in. He was looking at Alba like, I've taught you to do that. I've taught you to get in there and finish off those chances. It wasn't Messi providing it today, but it was a wonderful finish from Jordi Alba, topping off a fantastic move and giving us a pretty comfortable 2-0 win on the night. That, like I say, I think we can be very pleased with this performance. It was competitive, it was dominant, we finished our chances in front of goal, we had a few more as well. Suarez forced Handanovic into several saves throughout the game, and I think overall we got the job done tonight. Without Messi, it's not going to be easy. We're not going to steamroller teams, but I think against Inter, who are a decent team, they never really came out and played. They stayed in their shape, they were very resolute, they didn't want to get beaten by a lot of goals tonight, but we got the job done in a very impressive 2-0 win. But like I said, guys, I was always going to come on to him, and I had to do that tonight about Arthur Melo. We spoke about him at Wembley, away at Tottenham, when he was so inspirational in that 4-2 victory, and just exactly the same tonight. He was put in the starting lineup again by Valverde. I'm happy with Valverde that he keeps putting Arthur in there. That's what he needs to do. Give him that confidence, give him that responsibility, because when he's got it, he will deliver. Once again tonight in that midfield, he showed all of the characteristics, all of that quality that you need as a Barcelona midfielder. He received the ball, he was always looking for it, he was always making himself available, dropping deep when he needed to, getting in behind when he needed to. He was always looking to be on the receiving end of things and making things happen. 83 accurate passes tonight, 95% of those all accurate. He was everywhere on the pitch, he was influential in our midfield, and he was so good. And when he came off, a standing ovation from the Camp Nou. That's how good it was tonight from Arthur. He was so appreciated. And even when Valverde actually brought Vidal on for Arthur, sort of midway through the second half, about 70 odd minutes, there were a few whistles around the Camp Nou as well. They weren't happy that he was coming off. That's how good tonight they saw him at the Camp Nou. Arthur is growing into this shirt. It's still early days, but the signs are incredibly positive. So of course, guys, I want to know your thoughts. What did you think of our performance tonight? And most importantly, what do you think right now of our Champions League position? This win against Inter has guaranteed our qualification. We are now top of the group with 9 points. Inter in second on 6. And the most important thing from today, Tottenham drew with PSV. It's all looking rosy right now in Group B. We are in complete control. And all I can say now is, bring on Real Madrid on Sunday. There will be so much build-up to that game right here, guys, and a lot more, I'm sure. Leave your thoughts down below. I will see you tomorrow. But until then, as always, Vasca el Barça.